Hi, good morning, friends. I'm Dr. Sanjay Ambekar from Dr. Bapuji Savanke Law College, Usmanabad. So, friend, today we are going to discuss about introduction of the labor law, part second. Already we had discussed part first. So then we are going to discuss about what is meant by labor, what is the meaning of labor, what are the definitions of labor, what is the difference between industrial law and labor law, what are the examples of the wages and salary, what are the difference between them. All these points we are covered under this small session. So first we are going to discuss about what is meant by labor. So friend, here generally we are talking about labor. Labor means any worker, any employees. These are the workers. Means a person who is giving his physical work, physical efforts, or mental efforts. So here, in the context of meaning of labor, labor always indicates some kind of mental or physical exertion undertaken with a motive to earn money. Generally, any labor, any workers, any employees has given his mental or physical exertion or efforts to gain to earn money. This is a simple meaning of the labor. So here, in efforts or exertion undertaken for the sake of pleasure. Second part means any efforts or exertion undertaken for the sake of pleasure or social service is not considered as a labor. For example, myself or I am working in my house, means any sweeping work or any sorting of vegetables at my home. So, shall I have to consider it as a labor? No, my wife is working in the kitchen. Is she considered as a labor? No. Why? Because she has voluntary is giving his physical efforts, physical exertion. Or my wife is a teacher and she is taking study of my child. Shall we talk? She is an employee. She's a worker. No, voluntary or with a pleasure she has continued to work. And for that purpose she will not get any money, any reward. So she shall not be considered as a labor. Means the simple meaning of labor law is a person, he or she is giving mental or physical exertion for gaining the money, to earn the money. These persons are called labor, but voluntarily with pleasure or in social service. In social service, he may giving the mental or physical exertion. Then also this person shall not called as a labor. Then after the work done by machines. Any work done by machines or animals is also does not considered as a labor. Is the work done by machines. Means any manufacturing machinery, cutting machinery, and through that machine we are doing done any work. Means is that person is called a labor? No, any animal. Means bullocks are carrying the bullock cart. So is this called the labor? No. Means any machine or any animals is not called the labor. Or the work done by any machine or animals does not labor. For example, the work of gardener. The work of the gardener in the garden is called labor. Why? He is called the labor. Why? Because first and foremost, he is giving his physical efforts, physical exertion in the garden to maintain the garden. And instead of that physical efforts, physical exertion, he will get the reward or income. But suppose, but suppose, a person who voluntarily working or maintaining his garden, so that person is called labor? No. Why? Because he, first and foremost, he is doing that job voluntarily, so he shall not considered as a labor. Second thing, definitions of labor. Number of scholars, number of jurists has defined the labor. So like that here, Professor Marshall has talks about the labor. Labor is meant the economic work of man. Economic work of man, whether with hand or head. Means here, Marshall has talks clearly. Any person, he or she, is giving his mental work or physical work. Means here, whether with hand means by manual, by physical work, and by head means by mind, by intellectual capacity he has used for completion of work. And then after he will get the economy, he will get the money, he will get the reward. That person is called the labor. Means Professor Marshall states, labor means the economic work of a man whether with hand or head. Then after, Thomas also states about the labor. Labor consists of all human efforts. Labor consists of all human efforts of a body or mind undertaking expectation of a reward. Means why we are giving mentally efforts or bodily efforts to undertaking in expectation of the reward. Means instead of the physical efforts or intellectual efforts, I'll get the reward or money. And these persons are called the labor. Means here, labor consists of all human efforts of body or mind undertaking in expectation of a reward. Then after, physical labor. What is meant by physical labor, or how the physical labors are consisting under the labor law? Physical labor is that in which the laborer has to undergo a great deal of physical exhaustion. In short, physical labor means these person are giving the physical efforts, physical exertion. That is called physical labor. Means how the physical labors? For example, rickshaw pullers. Rickshaw pullers. When rickshaw pullers are pulling their rickshaws, are they intellectually? No, there is no need of intellectual capacity, but there is need of physical capacity. So, rickshaw pullers are giving the physical efforts, physical exertion. That is why this is the best example of physical labor. Then after, cobbler, tailor, weavers, ironsmith are some examples of the physical labors. Then after, mental labor. Mental labor involves a lot of intellect of an individual. Intellect of an individual means here an individual has used his intellectual capacity to complete or fulfill the work. And these persons are called the mental laborer. Mental laborer, intellectual laborer. They are giving their intellectual capacity to fulfill the work, to complete the work, to accomplish the work. For example, teachers. Teachers are giving the intellectual efforts, like that any accountant in the bank, he's giving or using its intellectual capacity for completing its work. Then doctors, managers of the factory, managers of the company, etc. are good examples of the mental labor. Means in short, labor means a person who is giving the mental or physical work for certain expectation of the reward. These persons are called the labor. Next, objectives of the labor legislation. Then after, appropriate government has enacted framed number of labor legislations. So for what purpose the labor legislation, labor laws has framed or enacted by the appropriate authorities, is parliament or legislature. So first and foremost, to establishment of the justice, to establishment of the justice, establishment of justice for what subject or in which context the establishment of justice is important. It's a vital part. Establishment of justice, it is a vital part in the context of social, political, and economic. Means socially, politically, and economically, we shall have to give the justice to the employees, to the employer, etc. That is why these labor legislations are establishing the justice in the context of social, political, and economic. Then after, opportunities to all workers. What types of opportunity will get to the workers, all workers, through the labor legislation, through the labor laws? In respect of the caste, creed, religion, beliefs for the development of their personality. Means there is opportunity to all workers, all employers, all the laborers, irrespective of the caste, creed, religion, belief, for the development of their personality. Means it is possible through the labor legislation to maintain, to develop, to sustain our personality at the workplace. Third point, protection of a weaker section in the society. Labor legislation are protecting the weaker section in the society. Right. Maintenance of industrial peace. Maintenance of industrial peace. For that purpose, number of laws has been provided here to maintain peaceful atmosphere in the society. Thereafter, protection and improvement of labor standards. Protection and improvement of labor standards. Then, protection of the workers from exploitation. Protection of the workers from exploitation. Means any types of exploitation which is going in the workplace or at the workplace, that time the labor laws, labor legislation are protecting the workers from certain exploitation at the workplace. For example, Vishakha case, Vishakha versus state of Rajasthan. In that case, sexual harassment at the workplace. So after that, some guidelines as given by the Supreme Court to enact the sexual harassment at the workplace. Means Sexual Harassment Act has enacted by the appropriate government. Means only for the purpose of protection of the women workers. Means like that number of legislations are existed to protecting the workers from certain exploitation. Then after, to form association or unions, to form association or unions of the employees or employers, to protecting the legal rights of the employers and employees at the workplace. Then, to ensure right of workmen to bargain collectively for the betterment of their service condition. To ensure rights of workmen. To ensure rights of workmen. The workmen or labor has a right to do collective bargaining. And this collective bargaining only for the purpose of to betterment of their service condition. Which for the service condition, they shall have to fight. And next, next thing is ensure human rights. Ensure ensure human rights and human dignity. Means first and foremost to ensure the human rights and its dignity, means to maintain dignity of the workers. This is the main purpose of the labor legislation, instead of to maintain amicable relationship between employer and employee. This is the main object, to maintain amicable relation between employer and employee. Without amicable relationship between them, the industry shall not be growing up or develop. Or smoothly, working style shall not be continuously in the industry or any factory. That is why, first and foremost, they should have to maintain the amicable relationship between employer and employee. Then after, difference between wages and salary. I mean, generally, some persons doesn't know what is meant by wages and what is meant by salary, or who will get wages and who will be claimed for salary. Actually, that these two terms are used interchangeably. Interchangeably. So first and foremost, salary. What is meant by salary? A fixed amount payable. A fixed amount payable at regular intervals. Regular intervals. It can be weekly or monthly payments straight to an employee's bank account. Employee's bank account means fixed amount payable at regular interval, and it may be paid weekly or monthly payment and straight to that employee's bank account. It is called salary. Second is wages. What is meant by wages? Are hourly or daily payments. Are hourly or daily payment for work done during the working days. During the working days, it is called wages. Means friend, the main difference between salary and hourly wages is that salaries are a fixed upon payment agreed to by both the employer and employee. Salary, when the salary will get to the employee, if there is the contract between employer and employee for certain period, they shall have to do work in the specific workplace or for such work. Wages, on the other hand, may vary depending on hours worked and performance. Wages means, on the other hand, may vary depending on hours worked and performance. Means for stipulated hours, for specific hours, they are complete their work, and after that they will get certain reward or money. So here, who will get the salary and who will get the wages, or who may claim for salary or who may claim for the wages? So friend, here there are some examples regarding to the wages. There is a very little difference, wages and salary. This will be clear from these examples. First, we'll discuss the examples. First is wages. Gardener working in the garden. Gardener working in the garden. But this work is not voluntary work. For certain economy, for certain reward, he's giving his physical work in the garden. Okay, means gardener working in the garden. After gardening work, he will get the economy. Means that person is called the labor or workers. Which types of efforts has he given? He has given the physical work. Physical work means nature of work was the physical. Okay, manual. Like the second, waiter of the restaurant, waiter of the restaurant, waiter of the hotels, he is giving the physical work, physical work. Then driver of the truck is giving the manual work, physical efforts. Means nature of work is physical. Then agricultural workers means these person are giving their physical efforts in the agricultural field or agri. These are the physical laborers, physical workers. Like that, tailor, weavers, etc. Tailors and weavers, they are also giving their physical efforts to complete or accomplish the work. And these persons will get the wages. And in another hand, salary. Or whereas in case of salary, information technology employees, IT employees will get the salary. Teachers and professors will get the salaries. Judges will get salaries. Manager of the factory will get salaries. Manager of the factory will get salaries. Miss friend, the wages and salary will get to a person on the basis of nature of work. Either these nature of work are the physical or mental. Means if there is a physical labors, physical works, that person will get the wages. And salary will get to the person who is giving the mental or intellectual efforts to accomplishing works. Then after friends, one point I'm going to discuss here, labor laws and industrial laws. Actually, labor laws and industrial laws. Labor law, it is broader, labor law, it is a broader term, broader meaning than the industrial laws. Means all the industrial laws comes under labor law. All the industrial laws comes under the labor law. Means in short, industrial laws are the spaces of the labor laws. Labor laws. Under labor laws, all the relations between the employer, employee, unions, trades, etc. So these industrial laws comes under the purview of the labor law. So friends, today we shall stop here. Thank you.